What's up, y'all? 10 at 3 time at Tennessee. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope everything in your life is going well. Hope you're having a good day out there. Hope you're having a happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas week, all of those things. However you phrase it does not particularly matter to me, does not offend me. Whatever you say, okay with me. Happy that you're here spending part of your holiday week with us here at WBIR. Joined today by Miss Ainsley back there. How are you doing today?
I am great. Thanks so much for asking, Wes. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I was laughing a little bit because every week starts differently, right? Like every single week, and we have this new spaceship, this awesome room that we're in, and every week there's so many fun things, but like sometimes on Mondays in particular, something will go wrong. It's always something. And it's something that sometimes we clean up for post, and so sometimes people, unless you're here with us live in the hot seat as we're going, you may not see it or hear it. But if you're one of those, like you're so into it, you're there live at the beginning, then you see it and you hear it and you feel it and you're on the experience with us, and it is so fun because there are just way too many buttons here because I'm dumb, and it's fun. You never know.
Listen, that's the point of it being live, right? That's how live TV works. That's how live podcasting works. That's the fun. That's the excitement. Something's always got to go wrong to keep you on your toes.
Yes, it does. And on this holiday week, by the way, we do have a special holiday gift for you. I think if it's not up now on WBR, I think it will be soon. But we spent about half an hour this morning with Tennessee baseball coach Josh Elander, who stopped by the studio and did a quick interview with us. I say quick. He was in here for a good half hour. We had a good time talking about a lot of stuff, and obviously he's someone who Tennessee baseball fans, especially the hardcore Tennessee baseball fans, know and have known for years. He was the guy who they wanted to replace Tony Vitello when Tony Vitello went to the San Francisco Giants. They got their wish. They got their man. The players got their wish, got their man. It was Josh Elander, a guy who has turned down opportunities to go be a head coach elsewhere over the years, to stay at Tennessee and kind of keep waiting and maybe kind of hoping this opportunity would come up at some point, and it did, and he's able to walk into a really good situation with that brand new, it's not brand new, but parts of it are brand new, that beautiful ballpark there that they've taken what was an old rust bucket and made it one of the nicer places to watch college baseball anywhere in this country, really, and he's able to maintain a lot of talent on that roster from a team that's been to 3 College World Series in the past 5 years, won the national championship 2 years ago, 5 consecutive NCAA Super Regionals, and he was able to bring back a lot of the talent that they signed in that class, and really only a couple staffers left. Now, they were key guys, and he talked about that. Frank Anderson, these are guys, Quentin Eberhardt, these are guys that but still you don't want to lose them, but they go with Tony Vitello. He wishes them all the opportunity in the world. And what's interesting, a lot of people don't remember this, Quentin Eberhardt's kind of Tony Vitello's right-hand man, but he was introduced to Tony by Josh Elander, because when Tony Vitello and Josh Elander came to Tennessee together nearly a decade ago, basically at this point, Tony was thinking about, I need a strength coach. Who do we want? And Josh Elander said, I know a guy for my time with the Braves. He's perfect. He'll be exactly what we need. And he was right. And that man was Quentin Eberhardt. And so Josh Elander was the reason Quentin Eberhardt was at Tennessee in the first place, a big part of the reason. So, and he considers him basically a brother from another mother. But when Eberhardt got the chance to go back to Major League Baseball, this time with Vitello, he kind of couldn't resist it. He didn't blame him for going, and he brought in what was Quentin Eberhardt's right-hand man from his time with the Cubs, which was Keegan Knoll, who's most recently been with the Milwaukee Brewers, but had been with the Cubs when Eberhardt was there. And so kind of the same system, same style, and maybe a bit more scientific or modern in some of his approaches to things, but still the same sort of general philosophy. And then Josh Reynolds, the pitching coach, who was at Tennessee for a couple of years, kind of trying to get ahead of this Frank Anderson eventually leaving business, which everyone knew because of his age he was going to go at some point. And they thought he might retire back to Texas, but instead he takes one more shot to go be back, to go be in Major League Baseball with Tony Vitello. But they had Josh Reynolds waiting in the wings to go take that spot. And other than that, he was able to keep pretty much every other person. So he was able to get all of that done. And he's a guy who I think a lot of you will like as you get to know him. He's much different from Tony Vitello just from a pure personality standpoint. You've got Tony Vitello, Mr. kind of, young Italian single guy, married to the game, his own sort of very, very unique personality in the way that he goes about his business and how sort of out there he is, and that personality. Josh Elander, he and Tony Vitello often are of one mind when it comes to baseball. But on the personality side, you've got Tony Vitello on one hand, and then you've got Josh Elander, who's one of the best recruiters in the country and has been for years, one of the best offensive coaches in the country and has been for years. Personally, believes in a lot of the same stuff Tony Vitello does. They kind of share a brain when it comes to baseball. Then off the field, Josh Elander is married with 3 daughters, young daughters, and just completely opposite from Tony Vitello in that way. He's a little bit more reserved publicly. I say a little bit more. Everyone's a little more reserved than Tony Vitello. But he's also, you don't become one of the best recruiters in any sport without having personality and without people liking you. Because I don't care what what kind of program you're able to sell or how much NIL money you have or what you're recruiting to. You've still got to have people like you. Kids have got to like you and trust you. Parents have got to like and trust you. So there are sides to that personality that you will see and that can be endearing in a lot of ways. It's just different because it's packaged much differently from the way Tony Vitello packaged it. But there's a lot of good stuff there. I've teased the good part of it there, but we talked about sort of the craziness of those couple days when he didn't know, hey, is Tony going to go? Is he not going to go? Hey, once Tony goes, at that point, the menu of options that you have, it's crazy. Because if you're Josh Elander, you're thinking, well, first off, I really would like to take the job Tony just left. I'd like to be the head coach here. But there's no guarantee that Danny White's going to hire me. I got to go interview. I got to go through all that. I don't know him all that well. He and I know each other. We're friendly, but we don't really know each other because the way, Danny White operates, he's much closer with his head coaches than he is with the assistant coaches because he kind of doesn't want to step on their turf. He hires somebody to do a job, lets them run their program, doesn't want to meddle, doesn't want people kind of jumping the chain of command. And it seems rigid, but the more you think about it, it's not too different from the way most other companies operate. So it's not, that was something that seemed a little odd at first when Danny White talked about that, but then the more you think about it, you go, okay, that is how a lot of corporate America works. So that kind of makes more sense in that way. Regardless, Danny White does his due diligence, and during that time, you're Josh Elander, you're thinking, okay, I got to interview for this job, and I want this job. Now, let's say I don't get this job. Then it becomes a matter of, do I go with Tony Vitello to San Francisco, where he would love to have me? Do I go stay at Tennessee and hope that I know whoever gets hired and that they want to keep me here so I don't have to move my family and my daughters and all these things? Don't have to move houses, towns, all these. There's that option. Then there's, okay, I was passed over. If I'm passed over for the head coach here, do I need to go somewhere else to eventually further my career to get where I want to be, which is a head coach? And so you've got like a 2 or 3 day period where all of this is happening. And at the same time, you're trying to keep together the Tennessee baseball roster and the recruiting class because everybody's trying to take those guys. And regardless of if you stay at Tennessee or not, you want to be a good steward of the program because they're paying you. And the honest thing to do is keep the roster together. You do your job. At that time, Tennessee's paying you. You don't want Tennessee losing guys. You want Tennessee keeping guys. And so all of these things are happening in just a few day period. And then we know how it ended. And he gave us a little insight into that today, the stuff that I hadn't heard before. Because a lot of the stuff he's done, he did the in-house interviews with Mike Keith, and he's done a couple of the National College Baseball things, and he's talked about some of this stuff. But at least I hadn't heard him speak specifically about that day that he gets the job. Because we all saw the video Tennessee puts out when he and Danny White kind of come up, they hatch this plan to go very businesslike, go speak with the team and kind of act like they're delivering news on, okay, this is who it's going to be, yada, yada. And then here's your new head coach, guys. You want to meet him? And the guys are like, what's going on? And then Elander walks in, and the guys mob him, and they get all excited. Everybody gets emotional. And at that moment, what I kept thinking is, one, this is a cool moment, but two, how long had Elander known that he had gotten the job before he walked into the room? And he talked about that on the show. It wasn't that much time, not as much time as you think maybe. So a lot of that emotion was raw and real, and wasn't just kind of fabricated to make good hashtag content for the internet. So that was good. And he talked about his philosophies on baseball and kind of where he's come from and what he thinks about the game and what he thinks about Tennessee, the future, what he likes about the program, what, if anything, might change about the program. He talked about the roster he's got coming back. He talked about the things that last year did not go the way Tennessee wanted them to go, because Tennessee had what for most people would consider a really good season. You get to the Super Regionals, you're one step away from Omaha. Most of the time, that's a pretty good year. But when you'd been to Omaha 3 times in the past 4 years and you're the reigning national champion, you got a bunch of draft picks on your team, that's not a great year. It's not a terrible year. It's hard to repeat. You think it's hard to win one championship, go try to win a second one with everybody on your back, everybody wanting to shove it down your throat as the reigning champions in their ballpark. And so it's tough. And some things, just regardless of who was the coach, some things with roster personnel and maybe emphasizing this or that and not this or that other thing, just some things that, some variety on the mound, some variety offensively, some things that he thinks could have been handled better, and what they did with this recruiting class and the portal to try to put all that together. And so it's a really wide-ranging interview. There's a lot of good stuff. We'll have it. It's either on the feed now or it will be there shortly. And we'll have the whole thing out today. And then I think a little inside baseball here. I think you'll see some clips of it in kind of sort of various news programs throughout the week, because what people love, what my coworkers love about me the most, is I don't talk shop publicly, but I give a little peek behind the curtain. I take away a little bit of the mystique that's behind some of this stuff. I just tell you kind of what's going on, and you can kind of see it during the holiday week. We who work in this building are also people who have families and have holidays and who do things. Like, it's not like, schools kind of shut down. Most offices kind of shut down. And what doesn't shut down is news. What doesn't shut down is sports. What doesn't shut down is entertainment. What doesn't shut down, obviously, is weather. All of these things are still happening, and it's our job to kind of bring you these things. And it's not like, oh, we're lifting this up the mountain both ways in the snow. No, it's a job like anybody else's job is a job, but it's not a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday job where you're taking holidays off. Like in the sports world, think about it like this. I've always said this, and you go into relationships with this, you make sure anybody that you're going to date or marry knows this, especially if you want to start a family. You got to be upfront about all this stuff before you're asking for trouble. And so I just throw everything out there. You make enough mistakes in your 20s, and eventually you're like, you know what? Let's just be upfront about this from Jump Street. All right? When people are at home, when they're not working their hours, what's on television? Sports. What's on during the weekdays at night? Sports. What's going on during the weekend? Sports. You know why? Because you're not working. That's why games are played then. That's when we're working. So we got to go, we do these things and we're happy to do it, but it's a different kind of life, and you handle certain holidays and certain things differently. Like, you get on a plane Christmas morning with your family just looking at you like you're the worst person who's ever lived because you're flying to a bowl site, right? Things like that. And although now I got this job here, I can send the young people out to do that. and I just sit here in the studio and talk to them. Take that. Unless it's a really good trip, in which case, then I'll be like, hey, I'm the old guy. I'm going to go. I'm gonna pull rank soldiers. I'm gonna go. But in all seriousness, we have people in this newsroom who are from all over the country and have gone to school different places. They have different hometowns. Their families are spread out. So they're trying to get places. Like they're trying to be like, okay, what days are on the holiday? Because you're working some of them. But what days are you working? What days are you not working? This person's in this day, so that person's in that day. This person is on call if anything happens here. And so long story short, like during the holiday, we try to have some stuff in the can for you. Now, if something breaks, guess what? Hope you haven't had too much eggnog because you're coming in and working. That's what you're doing, right? Like, change the eggnog for coffee, get in here, do a job, straighten your stuff up, do a job. But we try to have things organized in a way where people are getting fresh content, but things that we've done ahead of time, and they're still interesting. And so I really, really, really thank Josh Elander for coming in here this morning and helping with that, because it's like, hey, dude, this is a great time. There's no basketball games, no football games, fresh content. You're getting ready to get going. Baseball now, pretty much early January. They get like hot and heavy into work, workouts, getting the pitchers ramped up. But this week, it's like the last kind of quiet time. So I'm like, hey, I bet you got some time, don't you? And he did. And he was able to come in here and to do that. And so we got to talk about some stuff that will be new for y'all when you watch and listen to it. And also, if nothing else happens, I'll be able to see my kid on Christmas, and be like, hey, let's go play with all the stuff that whatever Santa's bringing you. We'll play with all that stuff. So that's kind of what it is about. And so, the kind of guy Elander is, he was like, I get it. Yeah, I'll come in. And it was awesome for him to do that. That was very, very nice.
Kudos to Elander, and I did get confirmation from our manager that that's up online. So
there it
when
is.
People are done with 10 at 3, they can go check out the interview.
Go right to that. Boom. And we'll certainly have it in the show notes here. Although if you're listening on the podcast feed, you'll have that in the podcast feed too. It'll be there in its entirety. And then we'll, maybe play some segments of it throughout the week and other things. Because what we're doing is we are doing this live show today. And then it's just, it's me and Ainsley today. Tomorrow, the live show from 3 to 4 will be me and Elijah. And I think Shelby will be in here producing on Tuesday, because Tom has just pulled rank and just left. He's just gone out of town. He's like, I'm leaving. You guys, honestly, what he said was, I hate all of you. And then he just left.
Verbatim quote. He said, I'm leaving all of this to the underlings. It's all your problem. Yeah. I'm gone. I'm outie. I'm enjoying my holiday season.
I'm outie 3,000 here. I'm outie 5,000. I'm the streaming director here. I'm the Lord of the Streams, and I'm leaving. And that's what he said. And he didn't like Lord of the Streams at first, but now I think he's kind of liking that nickname.
It's kind of a banger nickname. I gotta admit.
I think he's kind of liking it. Because it's Lord of the Streams, but it's also a little Highlander, because there can be only one. And so Tom is the one. And so he left. He's gone for at least this week. And so we're mixing it up a little bit. And then tomorrow also, and Shelby's just going to love this, she's also got to then record 2 extra episodes with me tomorrow. So she's going to be in this room with me for 3 to 4 hours. And how difficult it is to make her talk when she doesn't want to talk, and I'm going to do it. She's just going to look at me, and I'm going to look at her like, all right, well, we're just sitting here quietly. So do you want to, is this the kind of product that you want WBIR's name to be on, with you just sitting there and me sitting here and we're not talking?
Listen, I believe in your power to pull her into it.
I'm going to pull her into the conversation.
You're going to do it.
And we're going to have, for those episodes, we're going to do a mailbag stuff. So go ahead if you want to. You can send stuff to the socials now, or I'll pull up a thread. I'll have a thread later on both. It's Wes Rucker TBA, which I've kept just, even though it's obviously announced that I'm here now, I can't have my original name because it's connected to an email that I no longer have access to. And so, it's kind of funny that I intentionally kept that name just to have it, but I put it on the old place I used to work at, that email address. So I can't just be Wes Rucker. And hilariously, the day that I took the job here, someone basically went in there and reserved Wes Rucker WBIR. So that's not me. That's one of the 15 or 20 spoof accounts that are out there.
That's diabolical.
It's really fun though. I mean, it's so good that I'm like, I'll tip my cap for that. Like the only spoof accounts that I really just don't, mess with are the ones that only throw off one letter or number and it looks kind of like it. And they always, anytime you change your profile pic, they change it and they change the background and everything looks exactly the same.
It's just not creative.
And so those are the ones that like, that's how, and that's happened before. That's how you get on like news tickers at other places saying you've reported something when you absolutely have not reported it. And so that's where it gets dangerous. And that's why when people say things like, why did you not like when they let it where anybody could just, have a check mark on Twitter and all that. I'm like, well, that's why. Like I have my reasons why I did not like that. It had nothing to do with who's in charge and whatever he thinks and what I think or don't think. It's just purely practical. And it's just, I like it when people could know this was a news source or this was, the actual celebrity who, for people, and I'm not confusing those two things. I'm news, I'm not important. I'm just saying for news accounts and for like celebrity accounts and official company accounts, you knew exactly who was who. So you knew not to like misattribute that or something. So it was just, it wasn't about status. It was about communication. And that's what it was about. And so, but that's the only thing but when someone does things like someone gets Wes Rucker WBR, that's just, I tip my cap because that's hustle. That's hustle. And I respect that. Like when people think of what a company's name might be and they buy that domain name to then sell it back to somebody later, that's just good business, man. You call it diabolical if you want, but it's good business. And so, yes, long story short, for mailbag questions for tomorrow's episodes that we're going to record and then run on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all that, you can go to Wes Rucker TBA on Twitter, or you can go to Blue Sky where it's just Wes Rucker. That one's much simpler. I don't think I have a Facebook page, but I'm not. The Facebook comments are about the worst place, the thing that's ever existed. So not doing that. Put links on there for people to read, but I'm not reading anything else on there. So, but you can send those things there. You can send those messages. And if you do that, you can either just use your username, or if you want to tack on there, your actual name and where you are, we'll give you a shout out on the show while we're doing it, while we're recording those. So we'll get those to you. And that's basically what's going on this week. Now, in terms of actual news, which we do have a decent bit of today, actually. We've got things that kind of happened. These things were over the weekend, not so much coming out today, but since the last time we've had a program. So normally we say we'll see in 23 hours. This time we'll see in 71 for over the weekend, which is what, 24 times 3 minus 171, right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, you got to be, can you math? I can't math. Can you math? My wife does the math in our house. It's not me. I think 24, 48, 72 minus 1
is 71.
71.
Yeah, you're on
so,
right.
yes. Okay, there we go. So, since that time, Tennessee has had another player enter the transfer portal in football, Peyton Lewis. This one is not surprising, I would say. It's kind of one that I thought might happen, and anybody can get into the portal, so none of it's a shock ever. But this was one that kind of made sense because this is someone who's played 2 years at Tennessee. He's got 10 touchdowns. He's had some nice moments, but he was not the starting running back. Next season, he almost certainly was not going to be the starting running back because Deshaun Bishop, everyone assumes, is returning. So, it makes sense for him to maybe want to go somewhere where he feels like he can kind of fit into the system, or he'll get a better chance to get some more reps. And the grass isn't always greener, but for some guys it is. And so I think with his style, Lewis as a runner, it's the way that he is as a runner. If he would wiggle a little bit, he would have everything because he is big. He is legitimately bigger than a lot of running backs, and he is legitimately faster than a lot of running backs. And that is a really good combination. You're like, hey, you want to talk about foundation pieces for a running back? That's a good start. Be bigger than average while also being a little bit faster than average. That's a great combination. And runs hard. Another good one. Gets the pads low, runs hard, can get yards. All these things are good things. But the way Tennessee's offense is designed, and really in any offense, but specifically, not pacifically, specifically, in Tennessee's offense, you're in that space. And if you can make one guy miss, you can really get downfield and do damage. So a little bit of wiggle goes a long way in that offense. And that's the one area where it was like Peyton Lewis, so many times the past 2 years, it was like, man, no one is doubting your toughness. And everybody gets excited when you lower your pads and run at somebody as hard as you can. It's hard to do, requires toughness, courage, bravery, whatever you want to call it. It requires all those things. It requires all of them. But, man, you can also run away from people. And if you go left or right and they don't tackle you, then you can show how fast you are. You can go get more yards. Now, you don't want to go, you don't want to start going backwards. But you can go left or right and you're not going backwards. You're go lateral. Get a little shimmy to you. Do a little bit of dancing. And then you can get out of traffic and you can go. And you don't have to be like Barry Sanders out there. You don't have to be spinning around and, juking everybody in sight. Sometimes you just take what's there and you got to put your pads down and go. There's nothing wrong with getting the yards that are there to be gotten. Nothing wrong with that. If you can get the yards that are there to be got, +1 or +2, you're going to make a lot of coaches very happy. But there were just some carries where it's like, did you see the hole that was there if you cut back? And I think that they've worked with him at film, and it just sometimes it took, sometimes it didn't. And then you watch someone like Bishop who gets the yards that are there, but then he'll go left or right. And I think Peyton Lewis is probably faster than Deshaun Bishop. Sorry, Deshaun, if you're listening or watching this with your family over the holidays. You're a really good running back. But I'm just talking about if you go out there and race Peyton Lewis, I think he might beat you in a foot race. But when you watch the way Bishop runs, the way he sees the field, the way he leverages things, the way he sets up blocks, the way he can see one level ahead of him as he's making the move, that's why he has the numbers he has, because he does those things. And if Peyton Lewis would do more of those things, he would have more carries and more yards. And so I don't blame anybody for wanting to make a move usually. You've got 4 years. Eventually you might get 5. You might get a flat 5 eventually. I think that's where the NCAA will eventually have to go, but it's not there yet. So unless you redshirt now, you get 4 years. He's played 2 of them. Next season would be past the halfway mark of his career, and there's no guarantee that he's a starter. So anyone in that situation, you've given 2 full years of effort. No one can question how you've worked. And you want to go somewhere where maybe you have a better opportunity. I don't think anybody should have a huge problem with that. Now, what this leaves for Tennessee, though, is a situation where now, assuming the other people come back, which there's absolutely no guarantee anything ever for any reason, never a guarantee. But Tennessee gets Deshaun Bishop back. It also would have a couple of young guys coming back. Dwan Morris, the freshman. He's exciting. I think he's a fit for this offense. And I think he's someone they're very excited about. He's back. And then Justin Baker, a freshman, if he comes back, he's a sophomore next season. So that's good, but that's 3 scholarship running backs by my count. Forgive me if I'm missing another scholarship guy. I don't think I am, but if I am, apologies. But I think, and I don't know that I for sure see any running backs in that signing class that they just brought in. Maybe some athletes can move around, never know. But I think now you're probably looking to have to go to the portal. And that's fine, because there's going to be other running backs in the portal. And you don't have to have necessarily a starter. You don't have to go get the top guy. Now, if the top guy wants to come, sure, that's great. Pay him whatever it takes and get him. But then, of course, you run the risk maybe of other guys wanting to leave because this guy's come in. So it's an impossible situation to manage. It just is. You manage it the best you can. You try to keep people happy. But at the end of the day, you have to get some luck too. You just do. You have to hope that you can convince somebody to stay if you bring somebody else in. You hope that you can convince somebody that's good enough to come start for you that, hey, I'm not guaranteeing you a starting spot because I don't think that's fair for you. I don't think that's fair for the other guys on the team. So you have to go find someone who's good enough to start, but also can be convinced or be told that he's not going to be guaranteed anything. He's got to come earn it. And then him taking the chance to come do that while learning a new offense. So there's no version of this that's just easy. This whole thing, it's a big song and dance. It's a big, it's chaos. But you got to manage it because the stakes are what they are. So we'll see what they want to do. If they think, I can tell you right now, they don't have enough numbers. Maybe they got some walk-ons and other guys, but they're going to have to. I would look at making some reinforcements there. And especially if you use another guy, then you definitely absolutely have to, and you're just taking a warm body at that point. But we'll see what they want to do about that, and then we'll see if some other guys want to go, want to stay. We know now what the number is. I think it's around double digits or so who won't play in the bowl game for different reasons, or portaling, or going to the draft and being done. So, there's other decisions to be made there, but Illinois is going to be going through the same thing at some level. Everybody is. That's why people keep talking about the bowl games, and I'm like, I don't know if it's good business for me to sit here and say that, because I want you to listen to us talk about it. I want you to watch us talk about it, and we're going to, and we will make it interesting. It's interesting, so we're not lying to you, but I can't sit here and say they are what they used to be, because they're not. And there's this little problem that I've got, one, to be honest, which you would hope over the long haul people appreciate. But, that also means sometimes you're saying things like, hey, guys, I don't know how excited I am about this bowl game. It's just weird to say that. But it's like, in the playoff, guys are leaving. There's portal stuff. There's, it's basketball season. Really? It's basketball season and it's portal season. But that's kind of where college basketball is now, or college football is now, because that's what the playoff era has done. And I do think that it's not just the playoff era that's done this. I think it's also young people, if we're being honest here, getting smarter about their value and what risk is and what the risk-reward calculus is. And you think about things in a way of like, what would I tell my kid to do, or what would I tell, that's kind of how I think about a lot of these things. And so I would certainly never tell my son to not play. I'd be like, you make the decision, but I understand why you would or wouldn't. So, and if you ask me what I think, I'll tell you, but this is your decision to make. And so if you are going to be drafted and you're going to be drafted, they've got 12 games plus whatever you've done in your career before this. They got a lot of film on you. You're going to go work out for the combine. You're going to do those drills. You're going to have pro day. And football is a game where your career can end on any play. So it's a risk always. Either way, there's no sure things, but I don't think it's just the playoff era that's done this. Because I think if you'd had the 14 playoff, I think it'd be mostly the same thing. Because no one who's playing in these games is not going to win the national championship. If you're not playing in these games, you're not going to win the national title. You're just not. And so if you're not going to win the title and you're going to be drafted, can we be honest about that? Like, I think you got to understand this. I think anyway. I mean, there's room for different opinions on that. And I'm not, walking down from Mount Sinai here giving you things that you are the law of the land. Like, this is not that. I'm just telling you what I think, which is I don't, It's not what we think of as like conventionally the honorable thing to do, but I don't know that means it's wrong. And so if you know you're going to get picked, hey man, I don't blame you. Now you can go out there in a bowl game and look great and help your stock and be healthy and all these things. But it's not one of those things where you're just, I'm going to bet on myself. Because you're not just betting on yourself, you're betting on luck. You're not betting on, see, to me, that's a different thing. It's one thing to say, I'm betting on myself and I know that I'm going to go do this and this is what's going to happen as a consequence of that. It's not just about you. It could be a guy running at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour, shattering your leg. It could be a guy concussing you badly enough where you can't play the game anymore. It could be any number of things that have nothing to do with you or your own actions, except for your action or decision to play in the game. And so that's why it's like, you're not being a coward. Because it's not just about what you do. It's about what other people can do to you and what that could do to your future. And so if you can't win a title, because you're in there to win a title, right? Finish the regular season. I got a problem when you're cutting out on the regular season. I don't like that. But, hey, man, it's a bowl game. There's not really that much at stake. If you're not there, that means the guy younger than you gets a chance to go out there and play and get started on next year. Coaches can look at him. I don't have a problem with that. But I also think if you go in the portal, you should be able to play in the bowl game if you want. Unless you are being recruited by who the opponent is in that bowl game. If you take a visit, like if you're a Tennessee player and you go in the portal and you go visit Illinois right now, yeah, I'm sorry, young man, you can't play in the bowl game. You can't be at practice. Because there's inherently a conflict of interest there that I'm not cool with. But anything else, why does it matter? That person signed up for that team that season. He's on that team. That season is being played. Let him finish the season. Even if he's going to go somewhere else next year, let him finish the season. You got guys on that team who are seniors, who are going to be in the NFL, are going to be, working outside of sports next year. They get to play in the bowl game. I don't see much of a difference there. Some people would say that they're completely different. They're a little different. They're not totally different. You signed up to play football that season. So if you want to keep playing, you should be able to play. But I also, we got to be honest about what these games are. They're fun. Sure, they're fun. It's a football game. Why not? But it's not. What it is right now is basketball season. And Tennessee basketball this week is up in the polls. You would expect that. I actually thought maybe Tennessee would go up a little bit more than it did. It's not disrespectful that it didn't, because overall Tennessee's metrics are about where they are ranked now, maybe a little bit higher in the metrics, but it's not disrespectful. But Tennessee, after blasting a ranked Louisville team, and then blasting Gardner-Webb on Sunday, which everyone expected, Tennessee goes up in the AP poll from 20 to 19. Tennessee goes up from 23 to 20 in the coaches poll after that 94 to 52 win over Gardner-Webb on Sunday, the running Bulldogs. They didn't do a lot of shooting. The running Bulldogs, they were running. They're not the scoring Bulldogs. Let's put it that way. They're not the scoring Bulldogs. Ethan Berg for Tennessee did not play in that game. The sophomore guard from Israel, he has an illness. He was not able to go. Like pretty much everybody else who lives in Knoxville the past 2 weeks, he has gotten sick. But him, unlike us, has got to go play a basketball game at the Division I level. So that's a little harder to do when you're under the weather. So in a game against Gardner-Webb, Tennessee's fine. No need to play him. Just go on. And really, it was 94-52. It could have been 140 to 30 if Tennessee really wanted it to be. It wasn't. Good week for Tennessee, though. It's a good week, and now the Vols get to go from Christmas break or holiday break, whatever you want to call it. They're gone for I believe they'll be back just after Christmas to start getting ready for the next game, which will be December the 30th at home against South Carolina State, which is another game Tennessee should win by about 1,000,000 points. That would tee up SEC play, though, where Tennessee opens January 3rd at number 18 Arkansas, and it is on at that point. You're strapped up. You're ready to go for SEC play. It's a banger. It's a really good conference again this season. Lots of fun stuff. But if y'all don't remember this, Gardner-Webb's basketball coach, Jeremy Luther, got quasi-viral the last time Tennessee played Gardner-Webb when he talked about Tennessee basketball having the most refrigerators of any place he's ever seen in his life. He said, I guess it was then Thompson-Bowling Arena, now Food City Center, has the most refrigerators he's ever seen in his life, and that his young children were happily just stealing beverages and loading up their backpacks for that drive on back to Boiling Springs, North Carolina, where Gardner-Webb is located there on the South Carolina-North Carolina border. And he talked to us again after the game on Sunday and said a lot of things. He brought up the refrigerator stuff again, which was funny, but he also, and the reason why, in just a minute here, I want to play the whole 8.5 or whatever minutes it was yesterday of his presser. Normally, that was what you might call an excessive amount of coverage for a Gardner-Webb basketball coach on a show that is themed around Tennessee athletics. And I would say you're correct. But he brought up a lot of really interesting things. He talked about Tennessee this season as a team, what he knows about this team. He also talked about why he thinks Tennessee in some ways could be better than it was the past couple seasons, which, hey, when you're an Elite Eight team, there's not many places, there's not much room to go up from there, but if you do, you're doing historic things for this program. And he also talked about where mid-major basketball kind of is right now, and not to play the world's smallest violin, because he wasn't doing that. But he just said point blank that his team, his program, he's been there for years now, and his program has beaten good teams. Gardner-Webb has beaten Purdue, Kentucky. It's beaten some big names. It beat a Purdue team that was a Sweet 16 team. But he said now with the NIL stuff, a program like Gardner-Webb just can't really even come close to being able to offer people what bigger programs do. So now some kids are making decisions about, hey, even if I'm not going to play as much here, I'm going to get paid more. And that matters for some, and you can't say it's wrong. And he just talked about how difficult it is, and he joked about one of his own players. One of his assistants tried to get after one of his players on Sunday, and he had a really funny comment about, dude, what are you doing? Why are you yelling at him? It's really good. So what I'm going to do now is step away for just a second and play this entire thing. I hope you listen to it. I really do, because it's a really entertaining guy, Jeremy Luther, the Gardner-Webb basketball coach, talking about Tennessee basketball, about Gardner-Webb, about the state of kind of mid-major basketball. A lot of really good stuff here. So if we got that teed up, we'll go ahead and play that now, and then we'll talk about it after. But right now, here's Gardner-Webb basketball coach Jeremy Luther.
Sure, there's a lot of similarities from last year's Tennessee team to this year, but what are some of the main differences you would say?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think they're bigger, bigger, just so hard to score against. And when you're playing down against us, it really amplifies the physicality. We played one of our money games on Thursday, and I think on Wednesday you guys played Louisville. Was it Louisville? And so I'm watching Louisville, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys had Louisville down 30-something. And I'm just thinking about what was going to happen against us on Sunday today. So very physical, very disciplined, very simple in what they do. They know what they do, and they do it well. They're going to pound the ball in the post and out-rebound you. So wasn't much of a test for them today, but we enjoyed it.
Chris, what did you see from DJ today, and what's his growth been like this season?
Yeah, so DJ, he's an awesome kid. He gets really emotional. Highs are highs, lows are lows. So we've tried to really kind of teach him what it means just to kind of be even keeled. When he plays with energy and kind of how we want him to play at our level, he's pretty good. He's every bit as athletic as anybody on the floor whenever he plays. He just got to learn to kind of stay in the moment and kind of do the things that, we want him to do. But awesome kid. He's been fun to be around. I'm glad it's working out for him this time with us going forward. So,
what can your guys learn from that opening stretch where Tennessee's not hitting shots? You guys are having some success.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been like that for us this year. When we're playing kind of our level, we've let a lot of things kind of snowball. We're the kings that kind of string in 4 or 5, 6 bad plays on both ends of the floor at a time. So we've got to be better with that, and just kind of realizing the moment. So, but in an environment like that, I told the kids, before the game, hey, we're going to try to shoot 30 threes tonight, 30 plus threes, and if they go in, you may have a chance to kind of keep things close for a while, and if they don't, well, what do we have to lose? So that's kind of our mindset going in. Let's shoot them. If you're open, get your feet set. Our Jacob Hogarth, our 5-man, shot a 3 early. So yeah, we were just going to try to play as loose as we can. And if you make some early, you never know what can happen. But obviously, that plan didn't work out too well. Somebody's got to bring up the refrigerator. Please. All my kids. I mean, when I got up this morning, and you guys, your media does a good job, or whoever you does your Twitter, TikTok, Snap tweet, or whatever. And people started sending me all the stuff with my voice getting real slow. I mean, it's been awesome. So the Big South does every head coach, they always do a follow-up of a game, and every head coach has their nickname or whatnot. And so on their tweets, when they say if you won or lost, my nickname from this game is now the Boiling Springs Bandit. Since my kids, I never stole the drinks. My kids stole the drinks. And it's okay if my kids, they're young kids, my 5th grader, they could steal the drinks. My kids did, but that's everybody. They couldn't make it. They had church service today, so they stayed back. But they're, hey, Dad, did you get any more drinks? I said, nah, not this time. So it's been fun. I think 90,000 people saw that. I'm not a very famous guy, but that was awesome. Got a little bit of fame from that. So.
Does anything stand out from your return trip?
How awesome this place is. Man, it's fun to play in these. I mean, this is our 6th one of the year. We've played 6 money games, and I like them. There's no pressure on us. Just having the experience, and the kids can see what this level's like. And Coach Barnes, he's from our area. I don't know if you guys know that. He's played in our arena. He played at Lenore Ryan, and they would have some games down at Boiling Springs and Lenore Ryan are very far apart. So he knows a lot of the same people, and he's such a class guy, and always a huge fan of his. I think you guys got a chance to be really good. I know you guys took that 3-game skid, but I find it hard-pressed, that there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be better than you guys going from here on out. So.
Rick's talked a lot about Jacoby kind of learning how to run an offense and run the team, not just be a scorer. I guess what, from your perspective, what did you see today with him being able to manage the game?
Yeah. He stayed within himself. I've watched you guys a bunch this year, just over Thanksgiving break. When he's shooting the ball well from distance, he's even harder to guard, and I think that just kind of opens up the offense because now, teams have really got to kind of long close him, and he's really athletic. One of my assistants got mad at Spence Sims for us. Spence was a walk-on at Alabama last year. That's the kind of kids we get. Great kid. And he closed out to him in the corner late in the game, and he just kind of ripped the ball, went baseline, and one of my assistants got mad. I'm like, that kid's probably making $3 million, and my guy's got, Taco Bell coupons across the street from our campus. I thought, why are we getting mad at the kid? He's really athletic getting to the rim too. So yeah, he's a tough cover. I know you guys had Zaki, however you pronounce his name last year. I think with the way this kid shoots it and kind of a little bit bigger and can get to the rim, he really makes you guys tough. kind of makes you guys go.
In the back. Back right.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Just listening to you last year, you're very open about mid-major basketball and kind of where you guys are in the pecking order of college basketball right now. I'm curious your thoughts about how mid-major basketball fits into this NIL landscape.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really hard. We don't have anything. We don't have any money. And a lot of people don't understand the revenue share. They don't get what that means. We're such a tuition-driven institution. And when you opt in, you can no longer have the numbers that you want. Like I had to have 29 guys on my roster, 13 on scholarship, and I got 14 walk-ons, within our program, and that helps the school. And I'm glad to do it. It brings in $500,000 or $600,000. So we can't opt in, and obviously, there's not a lot of people just throwing money into a collective for us. This is my 13th year here. We've been able to win 7 of these games in my 13 years. We beat a really good Purdue team that went to the Sweet 16. We beat Clemson, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Nebraska. We've had Wake Forest, but now that gap is widened. Some of those kids that Tennessee's now getting, we could potentially get those kids now without. I mean, you pick up the phone and if you don't have X amount, you can't even get them on the phone anymore. So it's only going to continue to get wider, and my administration's fine with that, and I want to help the school as much as I can. I brought in a lot of money to help the school through these money games, and there's really not a plan going forward for us to get it, and we're fine. We'll do whatever the institution wants us to do, but it's going to be tough. If you look at it and follow the games, and there's very few of us low major, mid majors even competing in games like this anymore. So, but it's it's fine.
There we go. We got it unmuted there. That was really fun. I think Ainsley and I were in a battle of the muting and unmuting there, and we were playing chicken, and in the end she won, and here I am. But that was Tennessee, or Gardner-Webb coach Jeremy Luther speaking after the Tennessee game, and hey, shouts out to DJ Jefferson, started his career at Tennessee. He's now at Gardner-Webb, scored 13 points off the bench yesterday. Played really just, I think, 13 points in 19 and a half minutes. Shot 5 of 9, 3 of 6 from 3, had a nice dunk as well. He did some good things. He's always been athletic enough. That's never been the question. It was just kind of advancing, progressing his all-around game and some things, and having patience in some ways. And he's doing some nice things for Gardner-Webb, so that was good to see him come back and do that. And also congratulations to Jacoby Gillespie, named the SEC co-player of the week in basketball. Good stuff there for him. Not the last time he's going to win that award, I don't think, this season. So, but yeah, I mean, he spoke about kind of where mid-major basketball is right now, and hey, he was candid about it. This guy's been there for 13 years. I think this is his third as the head coach, but he's been there for 13, 14 years, and told you what kind of the lay of the land is. There's not a lot of mid-majors and low majors who are really as good as they used to be, and that's kind of what the situation is. But I thought it was interesting comments there that he had. First off, just entertaining, other than the table hitting, which I could have done without. Spent a long time editing that audio because of that, Jeremy. But yeah, it's good to be candid about things, and he was. And he said, listen, I got to bring in money with this, so I got to go play a bunch of bye games where my team doesn't have much of a chance, and I got to have 30 guys on my roster because a lot of those are walk-ons who are paying tuition money to be there, so my school's getting more money based on that. So all of that, hey, you kind of get where he's coming from on that. Again, we said this earlier. We say about Tony Vitale at the beginning of this. Sometimes just being honest about things and candid, it's entertaining. It's good. Thanks again to Josh Elander for joining us. We're going to have that stuff throughout the week. We got a bunch more episodes for you this week, some fresh content, some live stuff, some canned stuff that you have a chance to answer. Thanks to Miss Ainsley for being here today and producing on the ones and twos, and we will see the rest of y'all in about 23 hours.